situation over the 12 years that I've been here entertaining you on television. Welcome to Hot Topics, Sharina Hudson. Getting out of my car with my money. Good morning, Journey. She'll be almost, I think she'll be 3 next month, don't you know? Good morning, Kelvin. It's my truth.
Okay, guys. I'm sure y'all have noticed that Kevin Hunter has gone real quiet after he realized he wasn't getting a dime under her guardianship. While everybody is cheering his karma, Sharina Hudson is the one really hurting. For 16 years, her whole existence depended on Wendy and the millions she earned through her talk show. But now that the money train has stopped, insiders say that Sharina has crashed from luxury living to food stamps, buried in her failed businesses, and attempts to take over from Wendy. And girl, whether you love Wendy or think she got exactly what she deserved, truth is Kevin Hunter and Sharina were doing the most when they thought she wasn't going anywhere.
So I'm not going to take a lot of time because, you know, I'm getting emotional. And I told myself I wasn't going to do this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever bring the energy, the charisma, the passion, the expertise, the talent, and whatever else you want to call it, like you seen Kelvin Hunter and my ex, Wendy Williams, and the team that was behind us. And I mean the whole team. That includes my current lady now. Yeah, I said it.
First of all, before Wendy even knew that there was a mistress in the picture, Kevin had brought Sharina around a few times. In fact, in 2007, Wendy and Kevin hosted a blackout party in New York, and Sherry was very much present. At the time, she was only 21 years old, and the three of them partied together. And the only reason we have these pictures is because Sherry all of a sudden decided to release them to US Magazine. Y'all, the disrespect was so real. Most side chicks would be pressured not to let the man's wife find out about them and are okay staying in the shadows as long as they keep getting the benefits. But Sherry really wanted to be all up in Wendy's face, and Kevin let her because it felt like Wendy would never leave him. And Kevin, on the other hand, wasn't going to divorce his cash cow for nothing. Some even felt that with how informed Wendy was about everyone's business, she must have known who Sherry was. So, to avoid looking bad and keep her husband, she turned a blind eye to it and let Kevin and Sherry do their thing. And the only reason Wendy later had a problem with it was because Sherry also wanted to be in the public eye, like Wendy, and Kevin didn't stop her from being crazy. However, if what Kevin's sister, Kim Hunter, said is true, Wendy didn't really know nothing about Sherry until the pictures of her and Kevin on vacation hit the internet. Of course, Wendy knew that her ex-husband had other women, but she had no idea it was Sherry Hudson.
You know what? Wendy is not stupid. She's very smart. I agree. But when you got this dude that's coming from the hood, that's promising you things, and he's there to be, she's supposed to be there to be a protector. He's supposed to be there to help you, to make sure. You know, no, my brother is not as bad as Suge. You understand what I'm saying? But he was damn near it.
Sherry was introduced to Kevin by Charlemagne the God, and he was used as an excuse to bring her around all the time. If when he popped up by mistake, Shireen would say that Shireen was his girl, and she wouldn't even think twice about it. Shireen, on her part, was living in her car when she got introduced to Kevin, and she immediately went from struggling to make ends meet to living in a nice condo that he got for her. Shireen immediately got with the program as soon as she saw how easy it was for Kevin to change her life. She was okay lying about their relationship since he was giving enough money and gifts. Also, Kevin had promised to use his connections to help with her career as a chef, and Shireen was fine waiting for him to come through. Shireen was a kept woman through and through with cars, jewelry, and a house that was paid for with Wendy's dime. Reports even claimed that when he wasn't getting enough money from Wendy, he would sell belongings and take things from her without permission so that he could raise money for himself and Shireen's new lifestyle. Kevin also had a charity which he reportedly used for money laundering and to give gifts to his mistress. In fact, whenever Kevin and Wendy went on holidays, Shireen always tagged along and had her own bodyguard to make sure she and Wendy didn't run into each other. At the time, Shireen really didn't care what Kevin did to Wendy because he always promised her that he would leave Wendy for her when the time was right. That means after he squeezed her dry.
Kevin had gone to LA for business. And I hired a PI. Yes, I did. I hired a PI to follow my husband. And this guy is telling me that Kevin is in Miami with the girl. This is where you show the picture of them on the beach. You know the picture where she's going to the camera and he's laying there on the cell phone like they're chilling like a couple. You understand what I'm saying? The PI was taking pictures of them going to the gym, going to dinner, her with Gucci, Poochie, and Lucci.
Sharina was willing to put up with anything as long as she didn't have to return to her hometown. But as they approached their 10-year anniversary, Sharina started having doubts. According to Kimblin, Kevin hadn't done any of the things he promised Sharina when it came to her career. He did make sure to keep her happy with an allowance and gifts, but Sharina wanted the spotlight and was getting increasingly bitter seeing all the attention Wendy was getting. On top of all that, Sharina had reportedly gotten pregnant for Kevin a few music times, but he had her take it out to avoid the news getting to Wendy and upset music, his cash cow. And this is one of the reasons why Sharina started to act out. She gave Kevin ultimatums to go public with their relationship. And when he refused, she decided to take the messiness to the public. But girl, Sharina shot herself in the foot big time with that one.
I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear how she helped you and she was supportive and she went with you to Honduras. I don't want to hear none of that. Like I said in the first interview, she was not supposed to be there. They were still married.
Instead of getting more people to pay attention to her and her business, all Sharina got was public outrage. The internet loved to drag her and Kevin for basically trying to ruin Wendy's life, especially after he publicly acknowledged their relationship.
And the vegan transformation, like I said, it saved my life. There was a point where I couldn't explain my headaches, my stomach problems. I went to every doctor you probably think of, and nobody could give me an explanation.
Girl, I haven't seen or heard anyone talking about it. She also started a clothing line called Vish, and that didn't gain much traction either. And once Kevin saw that he couldn't turn Sharina to the next Wendy, best believe he checked out almost as quickly as he got in. He wiped his IG of any pictures with Sharina, sold their lover's pad, and disappeared from her life. When she saw that the vegan business wasn't going to pay the bills and Kevin wasn't the one to fall back on, Sharina quickly switched over to selling properties, and her aesthetics has quickly changed from living the soft life to a woman trying everything to keep her and her daughter afloat. For Kimblin, her brother was most likely filling Sharina's head with all kinds of BS about how he was the one who made Wendy, and he would do the same for her. That's why she was bold enough to come out with it, because she expected that it would take her to new levels of fame. While Wendy did rely on him for some muscle when she ran her mouth too much, Wendy made Wendy. She knew what she was doing. She was smart about her rise, and no one can take that away from her. And this was a lesson Sharina found out a little too late. And if she knew that Kevin was full of it from the start, maybe she would have done things differently. But what do you guys think about this? Sound off in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe.